Hey YouTube world, it's me, yours truly, back at it again with another review. Today is going to be a review on Super Mario 3D Land. Get a nice look at that cartridge. I don't have the case for it, but I do have the cartridge. This was one of my first 3DS games I played, all the way back in 2012 when I first got my original 3DS, till that broke. And then I got a new 2DS XL back in 2017. This has always been a game that was near and dear to my heart, and today we're going to be reviewing it. So, the premise for this game is standard Mario stuff. You know, the princess gets kidnapped by Bowser, and Mario has to save her again. Yeah, there comes the jokes. Why can't Peach get the defenses up? You know, why can't she spend the budget? What even is the economy in there? We don't know. But yeah, Mario has to save Peach again, but this time there was a storm that happened during that invasion. I don't know if it was caused by Bowser or if it just sort of coincidentally happened at the same time, but in doing so, that storm blew out all of the Tanuki leaves and Kitsune leaves all over the mushroom world. And that is canonically the reason why there's the leaf power-ups throughout the game, which was kind of like the big selling point back in 2012. For the actual gameplay of Super Mario 3D Land, it's kind of standard-ish Mario. This came out during like the big Mario fatigue of the early to mid 2010s, so it's sort of played like the same as any other like 3D Mario game, where it's, you know, get to the flagpole, gotta pound the Goombas, smash up turtle shells, all that jazz. There's no jazz in this game, so it's a big bummer. There's big band music. It's pretty good. The level design in this game is definitely pretty good, I'd say. You know, a personal highlight of mine are World 3-1, if I remember, where you have to get up to the giant tower in a desert environment, and you have to get up there in any way you can. You can go through the entrance, you can take a like cannon and just blast your way up there. Or my personal favorite is like you take a propeller block hat and you climb it through the outside, and that's pretty cool. Another highlight is this one sometime in the second half of the game where you have to, it's like, I forgot what world it was, but somewhere during like the early, I think World 1, Special World 1, during the second half of the game, and it's like a bunch of original Mario characters, like back in like Super Mario Brothers on the NES. You guys platforms, and you have to take cannons and maneuver through them. It was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Definitely, I'd say the level design is pretty good. Now, for the power-ups, it's sort of It's the same standard power-ups you usually see in your standard Mario game, you know. The red mushroom grows you big, the fire flower. There's no ice flower here, which is definitely interesting. One of the big selling points of this game is the return of the Tanuki Mario, which was one of the new power-ups in the Mario 3 game back in 1990, back on the NES. There's also a boomerang mushroom. No, not a mushroom. Like a plant thing. I don't know how you would describe it, but there's definitely that. And I think that's about it. There's not a whole lot of variety with the Mario power-ups, you know? The only difference is once you unlock Luigi after the second half, after Special World 1, instead of turning into a Tanuki, it turns Luigi into a Katsune, which is a pretty unique detail, but overall, not the most wide variety of Mario power-up lineups. A great thing about this game is the world design. I really like the world design, man. It's sort of like, it's very happy looking, you know, like the backgrounds of all the levels. It just looks very happy and cozy. You know, that's one of the things I really like about this Mario game, and a lot of games on the 3DS in general, is that they generally have a lot of cozier vibes, probably because of like the lower resolution screens of the 3DS. It just sort of has a bit of a more pixelated look, and that definitely plays into this game's graphical strengths a lot more. But aside from that, moving on, the bosses. The bosses are just lame. They're lame as hell, man. It's literally just either a Boom Boom, female Boom Boom, or Bowser. And they're pretty much the same thing for at least the two Boom Booms. It's just 3 head hits, and they're down. And it's like that for the entire game until you make it to Bowser, and all it is, you just gotta run away from him and press a button. A button! Now for the cons of this game. Despite me earlier saying that this has some pretty good level design, I do have to admit, I think a lot of the level, some of the level design, some of the levels are definitely a bit lackluster. Mainly the auto-scroll levels. Those ones are always very boring. And yeah, like I said, the bosses, and the overall lack of variety. This came out during the big Mario fatigue, so this just felt very similar to all the platformer Mario games coming out during like the late 2000s, early mid-ish 2010s. So it all just sort of feels the same. And another thing is the lack of meaningful content, because the standard game is very short. You could easily beat it in like 3-4 hours, but then after that there's like another whole other section of the game. It's kind of like bonus stages, and you have to beat those, and then after that you get a whole other bonus game where it's like the same amount of levels from the main game, and then the sort of second half of the main game where you unlock Luigi, and then you get that but doubled, and then you have to beat all those, and in order to 100% complete it, you have to play as the entire game, main level, other side, and the bonus double as both Mario, Luigi, get all the flagpoles to golden, and get all the star coins in all of the levels, and that's when you officially 100%ed the game. So it's definitely not the most gratifying of 100%ing games. Overall, I do feel like this game is pretty good, but it doesn't really overall add to the Mario lineage. That's cringe, but whatever. It doesn't really add anything meaningful to the Mario formula. But one thing that I feel like really makes everything play into the strengths is the fact that it's a handheld game. And as a handheld game, being a lot smaller in scale compared to the main console Mario games, it allows all of the complaints I had and the lack of meaningful content and variety to sort of ironically become some of its strengths, because as a handheld game, it works for bite-sized, quick games for when you're like bored and on the go. You know, if you're like waiting at your grandmother's funeral, oh, okay, you're waiting for the sermon to start, waiting for the casket to be revealed, just pop open this, beat a few levels, and there you go. Yeah. Overall, I would definitely say this game deserves a strong 6.5 out of 10. There you go. It's a very strong 6.5. That's it for this review.